So, big news in Major League Baseball that you have to know going into next season. If you don't already know, Major League Baseball might have a work stoppage going into 2022. Now, what that means is that there wouldn't be a baseball season. That is unless Major League Baseball and the Players Association can come to an agreement on the terms of a new collective bargaining agreement. Some of the factors that go into those negotiations are rule changes as well as how the players are compensated. It's been reported Major League Baseball is floating the idea of setting a salary floor of $100 million per team. Basically what this means is every team, no matter where they're located or who they're owned by, will have $100 million to spend each year. So today I'm going to tell you what it would mean for Major League Baseball if they instituted this $100 million rule. Major League Baseball is the only professional sport that doesn't have a salary cap in the league. There's some things I like about that, but it's also created a very unequal footing for all the teams in the league. Unlike the NBA and NFL, baseball is a very regional sport. Most of the teams make their money off their TV networks, and some of them even just from tickets at the game. Take the Brewers, for example. They make more money at the stadium, at the concessions, than they do from their television contract. Meanwhile, teams like the New York Mets, Yankees, Dodgers, Red Sox, who all have ravenous fan bases, big contracts with TV networks, they're making a lot more money and they can spend a lot more in free agency and in trades. Taking a look at every team's payroll for 2021, there are 18 teams with a payroll over 100 million. It gets cut off right at the Rockies at 114 million. And the disparity between the highest and lowest payroll is laughable. The Dodgers have the highest at $267 million. The Cleveland Indians, the lowest at $48 million. I mean, we're talking about a $220 million difference, and it's really only because both of those teams play in different locations. Of the 11 teams with a payroll under $100 million, there's 3 still within playoff contention. You have the Milwaukee Brewers, but then you have the 2 Moneyball teams, the Oakland Athletics and the Tampa Bay Rays. 2 teams who, I mean, we know they don't need money to spend. They just seem to have the brightest brains in baseball. Under the current CBA, there's penalties if you go over the $210 million luxury tax. The penalty goes against the team their first year going over the luxury tax. They get billed on 20% over whatever the figure is for that year. Now, I'm no mathematician by any means, but if a team went to $220 million, aka $10 million over the luxury tax, their penalty would be a whopping $2 million. So to even the playing field, Major League Baseball is proposing a new 4th tier to the tax system that would start at $180 million. Teams that go over that figure would get taxed, and that money would go to teams that haven't yet spent $100 million on their payroll. The current CBA is set to expire on December 1st of this year, so there's a lot of work to be done, and this is just a proposal, but I really like the idea that they have right now. This will give teams that don't have the geographic pull or the contract with TV networks to spend more money and field more competitive teams. It's also going to prohibit teams like the Mets and the Yankees, the Dodgers from going out and just getting every player that they want. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing teams like the Pittsburgh Pirates or the Florida Marlins or the Detroit Tigers getting more active in free agency. It'll create more competition during the offseason and hopefully more on the field. So what do you guys think? Do you like this new proposal where teams will have to pay more money if they go over the luxury tax? And how do you feel about that money going to teams that just don't have enough to spend $100 million on a payroll? And stay tuned for my upcoming video, should Major League Baseball keep or eliminate the rules from COVID?